Hi again. Like a bad penny, huh? Just keep turning up. Um, I was just listening to the recording I just made, and something came to me. So I want to maybe do this as a part two. Um, the the self. We're talking about identity a lot, and the who am I question is as big as it gets. It doesn't seem to be. Mind can't see into that, but it's huge, and we're spread out all over the place, and we're doing mop up trying to figure out, my God, who am I? What am I? Science was supposed to help us with that, but they went off the wrong way, you know? They got off on the wrong track when they divorced it completely from any kind of spirituality or ethics. I mean, look at what's done in scientific labs to the animals and things. Okay? That ain't right. Period. They lost the soul of it. And so it's not worth much the way it is. It's handy, it's useful, but it's nothing ultimate. And these are ultimate questions. So, identity. When we get upset, I was saying, it's not us that's upset. It's something we've identified with. We've identified with a lesser part of self. And I think this is always going to be found in the 3D realm. I don't know that for a fact, but when we get upset, what we're doing is polarizing. And the duality and the polarity is very strong in 3D. I can't tell you if it's 4D or 5D or what it is when you step up and above the duality dance, the polarity dance. I know it's really different. I don't know what it has to do with. I don't know what the magic is, but you're changed. This awakening thing brings major changes, and not just one or two of them. It's like this ongoing thing. Sure, there's some people like an Eckhart Tolle or a Byron Katie, you know, that have the big awakening. Apparently, that's something that even happened to Muji. Uh, but that's much more rare than normal. What's more normal is to have a lot of little awakenings, a lot of little things that add up. And then pretty soon you realize you don't even look at life the same way anymore. And you look at your past, even your recent past, and you think, oh my God, who is that? You know, and you realize how deeply differently you're viewing things. And that really can creep up on you. So, identity, what's identity? That was it. That was the thread that I was following. What are we identified with? Now, if you go into Advaita and if you listen to Muji, and if you follow it in your heart, you go into a level of consciousness, and that's all that it is. And it's all pervading. It's nothing physical. It's nothing that can really be spoken about. It's perhaps the ultimate, see, level. You can't call it that because that puts it in with a whole bunch of other stuff that it's not. All that other stuff is in it. It's not in that. And so almost, you know, anything you say about that level of whatever is wrong, okay? Um, and I'm just going to be nuts here. Maybe I'm not one of the ones that's going to be ascending, because I could identify with that. I can go there and I can be there. And I am sometimes. But isn't this funny? It's not ultimate enough for me. What do I mean by that? God, I'm out in left field here, aren't I? I'm going through teachers right, left, and center, and I eat them and chew them up and swallow them down and go on. The next one and the next one, pitch that one out, no thanks, and that one, well, he had one good aspect to bring to it, but that was about all. I'm finished with that. Are you finding that you're digesting things this way lately? You seem to be drawn to this, that, or the other, but you're only drawn to it for a time, and there's a real intensity behind it, and you're really into it. And then at a certain point, it suddenly turns boring. Now, this is only if you're staying in heart. If you get in mind, I can't speak to that. All right? Mind can be bored in the midst of this. So, that mind is just beneath your notice when we're talking these whatever this is. Okay, but if you stay in heart, it's not that you're bored, it's that you're done. Excuse me, you're finished. I guess the turkey gets done and you get finished. What the heck ever. And so it's time to move on. And you find a restlessness. And you've got that restlessness in you, and it's not really comfortable, and it's kind of pushing you on, and you haven't got a clue what's going to answer it. So you're fishing around in this and that, and who knows. And then somehow you come on the next thing. Somebody sends you, it's serendipitous, It just isn't anything that can be figured with mind. This is following the path of heart I'm describing. And I know a lot of you can totally relate to what I'm saying because it's our experience. And things are so accelerated now that we don't need to study under a teacher forever and take all these courses and consume all these textbooks and do the tests and turn in the papers and blah. That's very, very linear. And we're accessing levels of being that are above and beyond the linear. And so, well, come on, if we encompass everything on some level, we know every answer to every test question. I mean, that's what is. And all is one. That should mean, well, it does mean, on some level, we have access to all of it. The question, of course, again, that we come to is, when do we get the keys to the kingdom that opens us into the levels we want to access? Now, here's the thing. We talk about choice and free will a lot. Some people actually say there's no such thing, and a good case can be made for that. And, that's just like, for a while there's a path, and you're on a path as long as the path is valid to you. But at a certain point, you step up above the linearity of that and you realize, oh my God, it's not a path anymore. It can't be called that because it's just here. It's just now. And there's not steps to it. It's not like that. And so the whole concept of path goes out the door. It just doesn't work. It ceases working. And so we're putting things together quicker and quicker and quicker. And I can see this becoming absolutely lightning fast as we go through these next 2 years. And furthermore, I can see our children frying our brains as we try to keep up with them. Once we have eyes to see these great light beings that have incarnated here that are currently rather young, and I think all the way up to the 20s in there's just miraculous beings that are here with us, and they don't fit into any kind of mold, and it's best not to try to stuff them into one either. I think the best thing for all beings is to so deeply respect all other, excuse me, don't know what this is all about, so deeply respect all other beings, that we give them the space just to be. And we say, what do you want? And we teach our kids to be in heart and to live and to work and to act from there and to communicate from there, and then to give them what they desire, to give them the circumstances and all that they seek, and not to try to pour them into some kind of molds. None of the molds work anymore. They need to be thrown out. We need to stop trying to put ourselves into these molds. They're outmoded, they're outdated, they don't work. I don't know that they ever did. They were just something we did for a while. And so we've got to let our people be who they are, because we haven't got a clue. We haven't got a conception of who these people are and what they're here to bring. These are great light beings. These are great beings that have come down into this hellhole, because on one level it's that. On another level, it's blissful. I mean, it's just different ways of looking at things, folks. And they're all legitimate. Let's quit arguing with one another. Let's start communicating from heart. And we listen. And we respect one another. And we don't trump everything everybody else says. If they disagree with you, you listen. You listen with your heart and try to hear what's really being said. The world is not all wrong and you're right. That's the ego. We've got to shuck it, and the faster we shuck it, the faster we get Gaia back. Okay? And I don't know what this is all about or where it's coming from. It's surprising me too, but it's so very real. We've got to listen to our kids. And kids, you've got to listen to yourself. Don't let the world program you. Don't let it do it. You're so far greater than that. Okay. I guess I've said quite enough, huh? Is there any more? I'm just going to keep crying. Pardon me while I turn the camera off. Sure love you guys. Hi again. Like a bad penny, huh? Just keep turning up. I was just listening to the recording I just made, and something came to me. So I want to, it's huge. And we're spread out all over the place. And we're doing mop-up trying to figure out, my God, who am I? What am I? Science was supposed to help us with that, but they went off the wrong way, They got off on the wrong track when they divorced it completely from any kind of spirituality. Maybe do this as a part 2. The self. We're talking about identity a lot. And the who am I question is as big as it gets. It doesn't seem to be. Mind can't see into that. But or ethics, I mean, look at what's done in scientific labs to the animals and things. Okay? That ain't right. Period. They lost the soul of it. And so it's not worth much the way it is. It's handy, it's useful, but it's nothing ultimate. And these are ultimate questions. So, identity. When we get upset, I was saying, it's not us that's upset. It's something we've identified with. We've identified with a lesser part of self. And I think this is always going to be found in the 3D realm. I don't know that for a fact, but